They're starting to get their arms around this, and they're starting to talk about that when they make the next move, they will continue to do it on a regional basis. And they want to obviously start the conversation about trying to basically do regional testing together, the antibody testing that Governor Cuomo talked about earlier today. All of that obviously very important. In fact, let me bring in a doctor right now. Joining me now is Dr. Sudip Bose. He's an emergency physician at Medical Center Hospital in Texas, retired U.S. Army major, Iraq war veteran, infamous. It was known he had to treat Saddam Hussein while he served in Iraq. The doctor is joining us now between seeing patients there. And I think this is the difficulty political leaders have, Dr. Bose, and that is the fact that this is beginning to work. We're starting to see signs social distancing is starting to work, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods.
Correct. And, you know, my heart goes out to the challenges people have and everything, you know, they're facing in New York and other places in the country right now. You know, we're mentioning the politicians, but it's the listeners. It's the listeners that are doing it, you know, following the rules. Remember, all disasters, whether it's a mass shooting, a pandemic, it starts local. It starts locally at the city level and more granularly at home, what you do, you know, washing your hands, coughing the correct way, keeping that distance of 6 feet, and not touching your face. At least that's what I'm seeing in the emergency room, is that people who are following those rules are doing okay. So what we're trying to do is take that curve you're discussing and make it not as vertical and, you know, not spike as high, so that we here in the emergency room can use our assets and treat everybody.
And I think that is the thing that I think the public needs to understand is the goal of flattening the curve. We may not save lives in the immediate, but the longer you have in your hospital to take care of a patient, and the more you're not overwhelmed, the better chances you have of saving lives. I mean, that is the whole point of this. I think people don't understand it. This isn't going to cure the disease. This just buys you time in your hospital.
Correct. And, you know, I'm often asked, you know, what can we do to help the staff in the emergency room? And there are a few things. I mean, we've heard about the distancing. We've heard about washing your hands. And the other thing is basically knowing when to come to the emergency room. Remember, at this time, at the date of this recording, there is no treatment for this virus that has been proven. There is no vaccine. So essentially, you want to come to the emergency room if there's something we can do to help you. You may have a fever. You can stay at home for that. You may feel really miserable. Try to gut that out at home. But what we can do for you here is, if you're really struggling to breathe a lot, we can give you oxygen. And in worst case situations, we can put you on a ventilator. So a lot of it's just knowing when to come in and when not to come in, because, you know, people are scared and people are afraid. So again,
well, I'll tell you what's
your immune system.
Well, Dr. Bose, I think the scariest part of what you just described is, I think when it comes to corona, we all get that if you have trouble breathing, that's when you call the hospital. I think what's scary is, what if you have another ailment? And you know you don't want to go there, but you know if you don't get it treated, you're in trouble. I think it's that fear of not knowing whether you're in an emergency situation that has nothing to do with corona.
And just like any medical condition, you know, the goal is not to end up in the emergency room. It's kind of like your car. If you service it regularly, you don't break down on the side of the highway. So similarly, with whatever medical problem that is, for the individual listener, try to manage at home and maintain your body, which is the vehicle that gets you through this thing called life. And we are here for you if you need us. But again, you want to do it, you know, in a smart manner and weigh your risks and benefits.
Right. Well, and it's an important way, as you just said, Dr. Bose. If you're trying to figure out how do you do your part, that is one way you are doing your part. Dr. Bose, thanks for taking a few minutes to try to at least give us some sense of what it's like on the front line there. Tell me, locally there, are you confident you guys are going to have the material, the protective equipment you're going to need to deal with your surge?
I mean, we're confident that we're going to do the best we can. Similar to, you know, when I was in the Iraq War and you have a backpack full of supplies and so many patients on the ground after a catastrophic explosion, you have to do the best with what you have. You have to fight with the army you have. And that's what we're going to do here locally. We have a great team in Odessa, Odessa Fire Rescue, Medical Center Hospital, first responders, nurses everywhere, respiratory therapists. I'm so grateful to everybody who's helping in this team effort.
Well, I guess you're going to find out the hard way, either way, and hopefully you guys are as prepared as you can be for what's coming. Again, Dr. Bose, thanks for taking a few minutes to give us that inside picture there. Coming up,